Welcome to Life Picks Relationships, helping you understand and enliven your marriage through the various perspectives and experiences of others who found a way to prioritize what's really important in life. From new love to those that have weathered the storms, let's get ready to take your relationships to the next level with your host, ST.
Hey, Life Picksers, hope you're having an awesome day. If you're newer, you'll want to listen to the past 10 episodes at least, so you have all the latest news that we have and you stay up to pace with everything that we've been listening to. Today, we've got someone who went from ditches to the riches. He works together with his wife today. They're real estate agents making millions after being homeless. He is the author of Ditches to Riches and is the host of the Sons of Ditches podcast. Thank you so much, Ron and Erin, for being here. I'm super excited to be speaking with you. You want to start by telling us how you guys met?
Oh boy. Well, so thank you for having us on, by the way, but I don't know, is this something better you should describe or?
No, you can.
So I am a bail bondsman. She was a police officer and we actually met out working. And so I was looking for a bad guy and the police got called and she shows up and we actually had an argument out there in the field. So
can I know what the argument
I was not
about?
real happy. Yeah, so I chased a bad guy and he came out of an apartment. I wanted her to go into the apartment and charge the mother that was housing him with a crime.
And you can't do that. We still fight about it.
Yeah. So she wouldn't do it. It made me mad. And
we hated each other, basically.
Yeah.
He was also in business with his mom. So she's a bail bonds agent as well. And she actually called and complained on my sergeant over that incident. So makes for a great story now. We still
fight, not just like, a little argument here.
Yeah. They called and complained on me.
So at what point, did you actually go and get together? That's not such a wonderful beginning.
Yeah. So it was actually funny because we went on a foursome date to a hockey game, and me and my buddy, and then she was going to go on a date with my buddy, and I was going on a date with another girl. And so my date didn't show up and her date got drunk. And so we just sat and talked during the whole game, and I changed her mind about bail agents and it just sort of goes from there. We had, that's where we actually started to get along and realized that we probably had some things in common too.
Yeah. All it takes is that real conversation, not fighting and screaming with each other. Do you still make sure to have those conversations today?
Yeah. For sure.
You argue a lot today.
Well, not really.
We're going to argue now.
I'd say our arguments are, so people say we're okay when we're attacking something. When we have something in common that we're going after, we do really, really well. When we're left to our own vices and it's just us, we kind of attack each other. So we always just try and have something going, some business or something, kids or something that we can both, attack.
Yeah. You're on a team together and you have something to work on versus just did COVID have any effect on that?
Yeah. So during COVID, it was a little crazy because we decided to sell our home and build a new home during all of that. So it was actually.
Did you plan that before or just because?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So our luxury home had been for sale for quite some time and somebody bought it. So that was our chance to get out. And, we had plans to build, but doing that during COVID was very, very difficult, especially since we work together, we play together, then we were homeless and in a rental until our new house was done. So that transition was a little crazy for us.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, homeless, but weren't Ron, you really homeless? Really homeless?
Yeah. So in 2003, I was homeless for about 6 months. And that was before I met Erin. I was, doing all kinds of bad things and had painted myself in a corner with my addictions and pretty much hit rock bottom right in the middle of 2003. So Erin and I didn't meet until I was I think I was 2.5 years sober at the time. And so I had to get sober and get my stuff together in order to
do that.
Well, that was, it was a frame of mind. I had children that were suffering because they didn't have a father. And so I basically came back to Colorado, and I moved in with my brother. He allowed me to stay as long as I was sober. And I just started going to AA meetings and working, getting a job, trying to, I gradually, probably in 3 months or 2 months, I guess, I found a 1-bedroom apartment and was able to get out of his house and, get on my 2 feet again.
Make a life for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was rough because I was making in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was making $150,000 a year, and I was doing really well for myself. And then I went to $0 to homelessness, to nothing. And I lost everything, to a 1-bedroom apartment and my way back up again. So it was a nice life lesson for all of us, and actually still is for Erin and I. Erin is like my reward for being on the right track. I met a different type of person, and somebody that challenges me and is able to to put up with me, really, just because I'm pretty rough still around the edges.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Hey, you can't fight about it.
Yeah.
But you really became a different person in the process. So you were able to attract and be with a different person. Like, I'm sure if you would have been at the same game and you would have been still like at that rock bottom, your conversation with Erin just like won't be the same.
No, I would have been arrested by Erin instead. So that was a change because she was a police officer. They believe very black and white, right and wrong. And I'm sort of all over the gray area. And I believe every criminal is got the right to prove, that they're innocent until proven guilty. And, her philosophy was everybody she put in jail was absolutely guilty. So,
well, I believe the same philosophy because we're in America, but I slept at night knowing, I didn't take anybody to jail that wasn't guilty. Like, I had to have a good, clean conscience and be able to sleep at night too. So,
right. That's why I didn't take that other guy's mom to.
Yeah, right. Exactly. See?
Still makes
so
me
mad about it.
15 years later, and we still talk about it.
So this black and white thinking obviously doesn't just happen here, like in your work. It affects your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that. How do you manage your life? Is it better for you that you have the black and white? Does it create more challenges that one's gray and one's black and white, or what?
Yeah, I think, I've worked really hard in the last 15 years to not be black and white, but that's my personality. So in business, we're real estate agents now, bail bonds agents. And it really works well for us because I follow the rules, the guidelines. He calls me the anchor. And then he's kind of the woohoo, he's the bigger picture guy. He's the guy that makes it fun. So we really do balance each other out, but our personalities are like polar opposites because he nailed it. He is the gray area. He's the fun man. I'm the one that kind of brings us down to earth, and we really balance each other out, and we really need each other. Cause if not, I'm kind of a stick in the mud, and, I follow all the rules. And if he didn't have me, he'd probably be in jail.
Yeah. So honestly, a lot more failures would have came in business just because Erin doesn't take as big a risk that I'm willing to take. And sometimes when we're not supposed to be taking risks, she has saved the day by cooling my jets quite a bit.
Not saying that you don't take risks, because I can't imagine your business will get anywhere if you don't take any risks.
Right. Bingo. So more calculated risks, probably. Her calculating, me saying I want to do something, and then her calculating it out and deciding if I can or not. But yeah, that's true. So more calculated risks. But she wouldn't have she'd still be a police officer, which she grew to not like anymore if it wasn't for her learning to think more like me. So I think we really help each other.
Rubbed off, onto each other.
Yeah. And it's funny because now her sister, who is just like her, but amplified 10 times more, has been listening over the last 15 years and has now gone out of her establishment and is taking a risk on a new career as well. And it's just fun to see that, when you speak to somebody or you talk about this unlimited income potential and believing in yourself and taking a risk and being an entrepreneur, all that kind of rubs off when they see you be successful. Now, if I was still homeless, I don't think anybody would ever listen. So, but we started a business in 2010 and it was very, 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 very scary for her. And we only invested like $180,000 into the business, and which was all of our money at the time. But, to me, I was all in, ready to go, charge hard. And, it was bringing the anchor with me. And, but we learned to use that to our benefit. I need the anchor. She needs the dreamer. That's how it works.
You guys just balance each other out so well. Now that's in business. In like your personal relationship, also has an effect?
Oh, Lord. We are very, very competitive, whether it comes to working out, lifting weights, doing races, real estate and numbers, who makes the most money, this and that. Like, we are very competitive at the end of the day, and it's awesome. It motivates us. It's fun, but it's in both of us. And I think that that's what makes us work, and that's what makes us successful.
Do you ever feel that like you're so competitive that you're fighting like with each other? Like, this is like, I have to do this and I'm just against him and I need to get this done?
Yeah. And we have a counselor for that. She helps us work through those issues because we have strong personalities. We both are in charge of our lives and know what we want. And, we have to check ourselves every once in a while and make sure that we're doing what's best for our family and us as a couple. But there's no shame in admitting that we have a counselor that helps us through that stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's helpful that we have some commonalities, and we have kids that we have in common, our family dynamic. But ultimately we also separate during the day. We go do our own things, which involves the commonalities, but it also is what we do on our own. So I don't need her with me to function. She doesn't need me with her to function. We are two complete circles without each other. And so just coming together is better. There are some things that we clash on, like how to raise kids and whatnot. The goal is the same. We have the same 10 values called the Worley Way that's posted up in our house that we raised our children by. We use these values to run our business. That's all equal. But how we get to those values is much, much different. And
I'm so curious. What are those 10 values?
Well, you have to read the book to get them. I'll give you 3.
Okay.
And I think these are our 3 important ones right now that we use. Family, friendship.
1 second. Why are you saying now versus like in different times you use different ones?
Yeah. So over the years you change. We've had the same 10 values in the house, but you focus on maybe 5 years ago when we had kids in the house, it was family and hard work. And we really battled between the two, trying to keep those equal. But now, I'm in a different place in my life that she's in, and I've dropped hard work kind of back down to the 4th position. And I believe in more freedom than I would hard work. So anytime we're valuing what we're doing in life, I'm coming at it from a freedom standpoint, and she's still coming at it from a hard work standpoint. But we also are very much involved with our family and our friends, and we take care of our community. And that's always, the values at the top there. It's just, I think it's a way for us to stay, it's like an anchor for us to stay grounded, connected and grounded. Yeah.
And how did you come up with these values? Was it like a conscious thing, like I'm writing these 10 things down, or was that something that you worked on over the years?
So for me, it was a process. Erin was born with her principles and her values. She was given them by her parents. I was in a different situation. I didn't have that growing up. And so when I became an adult and I was sober and I felt purposeless, I was still kind of wandering around trying to figure out how she knew right from wrong all the time. I've met a guy, his name is Jim Hensel. He has a mayhem mindset. And we sat down for 12 weeks and just talked about, where I'm coming from, what my story is, what do I believe in? And yeah, we just wrote down 10 values and what those meant to me and how I was, now they're our mantra. This is what I use throughout my life and beat my chest to them. And, I have to have that in my life. I have to have I'm more like an army guy. I have to have a hard charging mantra to go forward. Whereas Erin just knows she has them and she sticks to her guns and she doesn't really have to broadcast them as much. So I wrote a whole book about it, whereas she just knows she has them.
Yeah, different personalities playing it out in different ways, but you both have it to really go and and make your relationship like that. Now, Ron had kids before, right? If I understood correctly, before you married. You also, Erin, had?
So no biological kids, but I've raised Ron's kids. They're 23, 21, and 19 now. I've raised the little guy since he was 3. So I consider them mine. And, they're my claim to fame for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's a huge, not only a mother role model, but a woman role model to our daughter, to our boys. No, our boys are so romantic and love, they're the type of women they chose. They're just
they have parents like you. They have good role models.
Thank you. But, I made sure when they were growing up to tell them my stories, the god awful stories that I wrote in my book were real and I used them as teaching moments. And then we had Erin, who had very real stories from work. And, but she also had the solution to how not to end up that way. I don't have solutions. I just got stories, whereas she's got solutions. She knows the right and wrong and how to handle situations that, for me, it's all emotional and I have to work at not being so emotional, whereas she's less emotional and more level-headed and
tactical. Yeah. Your kids got the emotional part from you, Ron, and from Erin, you got the tactics. This is what you should do. This is how you deal with it. Now, those tactics were something again, you just knew intuitively, or something from doing your job and doing your work, you were able to go and put these together?
Yeah. So for me, I come from, a family of 5 kids. My parents were married for, 45 years, hardcore Catholic family. So it was just instilled in us. And, I always had those values, but, I wasn't able to articulate them or say them until I met Ron and, we start talking about them and putting them on paper and putting them out there. So, I thank my family for that background that they gave me, and it made me a good police officer. I know in this time, there's bad police officers and, that's a hot topic for people.
I love how you're so confident to say that.
Yeah. It is what it is. I was a good cop. I did it for 11 years. I love that job. I'm not scared to admit that there's bad cops out there, but it was really important. That was my thing. I went to college for that. I did, I gave 11 years of my life and, there's a lot of good cops out there, but, the experiences that I had from that and the things that I saw as a police officer, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. And unfortunately, to this day, I still suffer from some of those things that I've done and seen. But to be able to pass that along to the kids and, let them know, how good their lives are and teaching them about volunteering and giving back, that's been huge.
Yeah. Wow. Your values are so strong, coming through what you're saying, what you're doing in your relationship. It's impressive. Is there any advice that you wish you would have gotten before you guys got married?
No, I wouldn't have listened anyways. I
love that. I wouldn't have listened anyways.
We've had our tremendous ups and downs, but we have conquered some serious battles in our relationship. Some really serious battles. I have 2 exes that she had to deal with our entire relationship. Aside from the being sober thing, which is its own little battle that she's had to conquer. But, also she has some things that I had to endure and battle.
Everyone does. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably what kept us together is that everybody, it doesn't matter who you're with. And we're just such a good team and positive and always forward thinking that we're not going to do any better with anybody else. I think the funny part is, I'm just going to bring this up. She's going to get mad. So at one point, I had said that there's more than just love that keeps us together. And it kind of pissed her off. So, because she just thought I was head over heels in love with her after 10 years. And that's not there's more to it. You have to get along. You have to have things in common. You have to be able to spend your life together. And that's difficult. Yeah, it's work. And that's it. It's a lot of work, but we do work well. We actually work hard at everything we do. So I don't think either one of us really just want to give up at all. We just love or no love. We're not going to give up on this thing.
I love that. What about you, Erin?
Yeah, it's just, I guess, no advice back then. I mean, I was 23 when we met and he was 32. So he's a little bit older. But we just instantly hit it off. And, we have been through a lot and ups and downs. And, it's just the evolution of life, right? Like now we have no kids in the house and we're, reevaluating our relationship and things are changing. But this is our reward or our payoff. We raised great kids. We say no bounce backs. So that means they can't come back home. Like they can come for dinner and stuff, but we raised great people that, are self-sufficient. So we enjoy our time with them, but now it's about us. We built our dream home. We've got our dream jobs, we're starting to travel and this is our reward for all that hard work.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. We live in a resort now. So I go fishing all day and she goes to work. Works perfect.
Yeah, you get your freedom. She gets her hard work.
Yeah, perfect.
And then you say you work together when she's the one that does the work.
You got it figured out.
That's why I dated a younger woman, because I needed somebody that would work 10 years past me. It was all
like who said she's going to stop in 10 years? If she's so much hard work, it might be another 40.
That's right. That's right.
Sugar mama.
Okay, so before we get to our final question, how would you just where else could people find you? Where can people connect with you and learn more about you?
Yeah. Well, so I do have a website for me and my book and all that good stuff. We have a podcast. It's called Sons of Ditches. You can go to YouTube at Sons of Ditches to catch that. RonWorley.com will get you to me and my book. And then we have a website that's rerealestate.com, where you can catch Erin or I both. It doesn't have to be about real estate. We really, 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 really enjoy helping others with their issues, applying some wisdom. That's sort of what we do.
When you say issues other than real estate, what do you mean?
Yeah. So if you're having life problems or business, we're both entrepreneurs. So we've been through a lot for 15, 20 years now, 25 years for me. We can lend business advice and that's what I do to give back, is I help and mentor young people, young entrepreneurs, young people in general. But the great part is that within a young entrepreneur also comes a whole bunch of adversity that we can help them through. So
awesome. Amazing. Okay. So how would you describe an extraordinary relationship without using love, connection, or intimacy?
Oh my goodness.
All right. So smiles, huge amount of patience. And I think forgiveness, it would be the three values that would hold up, I think. See, she just proved that you don't just have love in the relationship right there. That's it. Perfect. What's yours?
So I think time is important. Family. I don't think you said that was off the table. And I don't know what my last one would be.
Hard work.
Hard work. Thanks, girl.
I got you. What were you going to say?
She forgot you have to have an absolutely handsome other partner.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about me.
You guys, you're awesome. I love that energy in you still, with all your values and all that years and all the hard work coming out. Really does pay off. Thank you so much for being here. It was such fun chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us on.
That's all for this episode of Life Picks Relationships. And we have a huge favor to ask of you that will not only support this show, but also give others what they need to take their marriage to the next level. We're striving to have 1 million downloads per episode by December 31st, 2025. So please share it with your family and friends so they can turn their relationship into an extraordinary one.